Hi, Scott Orland with Cinema Magazine. It is my pleasure to bring you two incredibly talented women who are both sharing the same project, First They Killed My Father, Angelina Jolie, Loung. Oh, thank you so much for being here. Chum Reapso? I was trying to get it close. Trying to say hello in Cambodian, so hello. Obviously, this is a story a lot of people didn't know about. So how important is it for cinema to peel back the layers and show us a slice of our stories?
I think it's one of the most important things that cinema can do is try to shed a light on history, and especially in this country where there are 70% of the population is under 30 and they don't know much about this history, and they should for their own selves and knowledge of their culture, but also they are the future and they need to know where we need to go and where we've been, and it's an extraordinary country, but it has had a lot, and they've been through quite a great, they've lost so much, been through so much, and should be proud of where they are today, but very frustrating.
And for you, I mean, you actually wrote this book. This is your own personal experience. It's one thing to write a book, it's another thing to have a movie made of the book. On set, how surreal was it to watch your life being replicated?
Very surreal, but there are many other moments where it was just based, it was just so spiritual and beautiful because I was surrounded by friends and families, and working with so many wonderful people and talented Cambodians and my cast and the crew. And for me, probably the most surreal part and the most beautiful part was that it was made in the Khmer language. I mean, this is a movie made in Khmer, in the Khmer language, and that I thought would never happen. And so I'm so glad that.
And you talked about, casting Cambodians. I mean, obviously the little girl who plays you in the film, the lead, is unbelievable. The emotional, vortex that kind of came out of her. How interesting was it for you as an actor to get that? Did you want it to be natural? Did you really make her stick to the script?
No, it was completely natural. We understood that there was going to be a script, like an outline, and that she was going to kind of move through these scenes, which we had, what they had to be about, the context, but what she saw, what she felt. And we had an understanding. I explained to her that, acting is not crying, it's not about tears. It was always to try to explain, we don't push things so they look like we're upset, or we look like we just think and we feel. And you don't have to cry, and you don't have to scream, and you don't have to laugh. Just think and feel, just be. And then it was our job to put things around her that would allow her some space to then, and then she would understand this is a very sad scene where Loung, and she knows her so well, she loves her, and when she knew that this is a scene where her dad was taken away, she could think about that in her life, but she also was sad for her, and so she would make her sad. So it was quite sweet. It was very beautiful, I think, in the way. So she surprised us, And
obviously, too, when we all have memories of our childhood, the things that maybe were good become great. And the things that were just okay became worse.
Right.
That we kind of exaggerated. So how did you moderate that so you don't take dramatic license in a movie? Or is it important that you take dramatic license? It is a movie, that it's not just a documentary.
I feel your book really took quite a neutral. When you speak of that, because for me, I really did follow the book, and the book really does. It speaks from a very honest place, and the place of what I love is the way she wrote it. Is the child doesn't understand everything. The child isn't absolute about what this is or that is. She's not sure, and that was interesting making the film, because your main character is just growing and changing in front of you, and doesn't know what is completely bad or good, or is kind of absorbing.
Yeah. I thought it was. From a child's point of view, children are, I think, naturally very joyful, very inquisitive, very strong, and their emotions are very high and low to begin with, because growing up is a process of learning about your emotions and calibrating differently. But I thought that our actors were so natural with her emotions, that she is talented and imaginative and inquisitive and very curious. And so the film was also a process of her exploring her own emotions, not just with the story, but with her connections to the country and to the history. And so I thought she did a great job.
Thank you for sharing, Loung, Angelina. Really appreciate it. And this is Scott Orland. Until next time.